So if nearly half of all blacks are not okay with white people, according to this poll, not according to me, according to this poll, that's a hate group. That's a hate group. And I don't want to have anything to do with them. And I would say, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away. Wherever you have to go, just get away. Because there's no fixing this. This can't be fixed. Right? This can't be fixed. You just have to escape. So that's what I did. I went to a neighborhood where, I have a very low black population. Because unfortunately, there's a high correlation between the density. And this is according to Don Lemon, by the way. So here I'm just quoting Don Lemon when he notes that when he lived in a mostly black neighborhood, there were a bunch of problems that he didn't see in white neighborhoods. So even Don Lemon sees a big difference in your own quality of living based on where you live and who's there. So I think it makes no sense whatsoever as a white citizen of America to try to help black citizens anymore. It doesn't make sense. It's no longer a rational impulse. And so I'm gonna back off from being helpful to black America because it doesn't seem like it pays off. Like I've been doing it all my life, and the only outcome is I get called a racist. That's the only outcome. It makes no sense to help black Americans if you're white. It's over. Don't even think it's worth trying. Totally not trying. And there we go. You didn't expect that?
Welcome, everyone, to Karmic Dynasty. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to play a little bit more of that clip in a few. Right now, I have Ramotef Queb here with me in the studio today. And Ramotef Queb, if you would, announce yourself to everyone. Thank you.
Peace, peace, peace. On the top of my Uncle Esther Jed, Uncle Jasadeb, Uben, Nefike Panabu, Ma'ati to everyone. Anuk Ramotef Queb. I am Ramotef Queb. I'm a practitioner of divinations. You can find me on Facebook as Ramotef Queb. You can find me on Instagram as Ramotef_Queb. You can also visit my website at maatraya.org, the DNA and DNA. And I appreciate you having me on the broadcast today. And to everyone, good afternoon.
It's a good afternoon somewhere for me. I just got up, so my day is like, already. I'm working on getting it. I have 3 broadcasts today, so and a lot of other projects and things going on. As those of you who know me, aware of me, you know. As the ticker states, you can contact me, follow me, all that good stuff at Instagram and Twitter at MKDTNT. YouTube, Karmic Dynasty, subscribe to the channel, comment on the video. We appreciate comments, like and share the video. And what else? Email me. If you know me, you got my phone number, you can call me. TikTok, all that stuff. Let's go. So this is how we came about today's topic. So I received concern from my audience, and I do address audience concerns. So again, you could contact me with concerns, things you'd like to see on Karmic Dynasty, and I also react and respond to the comments. So commenting is definitely appreciated if you like your voice, your thoughts to be addressed. So I received a text message from the audience. I'm going to read it right now. Stand by. I didn't even, y'all know it's not scripted around here, so I've been prepared. Let me see. It says, where we at? Stand by for me now. In the meantime, there is a tour we're on, me and Ramotef. I'm going to announce him. And here it goes. So, Okay, it goes. And one more thing. Scott Adams, he's comic author. He said white people need to stay away from black people and that we are a hate group. He said on YouTube. So I'm here I'm like, who is Scott Adams? Like, that's not a household name where I'm at, where I'm from. Y'all know I don't watch the news. Y'all know I don't listen to all that stuff. I do other things with my time. And I have always, I've made announcements that the audience is my news. The people that I'm around is the news. The things that concern us or that we need to address or is on our mind, that's the news to me. So that's what I tune into apparently and give my time to. So I'm here today addressing Scott Adams. Now, what I also found is Scott Adams is the author. He is the cartoonist, whatever you want to call it, of Dilbert. And I was like, oh, I know Dilbert. So I was like, he did say what? Now, apparently this is just the norm for him to be talking about the topics that are addressed and the one that's being addressed today. So it didn't come out of like the blue sky, the thin air, just didn't pop up out of nowhere. This is like it's a history for him, it's patterns. So today we're addressing this patterns, and right now this one pattern he has is speaking on race. So Ramatef, if you have anything you want to share before I finish this clip?
So first and foremost, this is more so on a reason of question of the day. What is ranting? What is free speech? And how do people use it to start controversy when there's no need for it? Especially if you're just trying to do it just for some money. From looking into this, when Ishram sent me, the text as well, and I started looking into it. And originally I was just like, it's not worth it, because I'm watching all these different, interviews with this brother, including this one. And it's like, you're going to notice in other interviews of him speaking on, I didn't refer, just basically playing with words, right? So the word of the day, all versus people. And we'll continue on.
Thank you. I also myself in listening this now, would I just play this video on the platform right now today? This is the first time I've heard or seen his mouth in motion. So I'm just now hearing it for myself, besides digging in to see what is going on so I can have an idea of what I'm addressing. And yeah, he's definitely playing with words. I hear so far lack of accountability. And basically he's putting the weight of these words on other people to be responsible for it, so he can just be his hands clean of the situation. So yeah, definitely we will look at rant, free speech, and controversy right now on the Etsy line right now. But I'm finishing out this video so we can move forward with that.
Today, did you? But those who don't want to focus on education, you just need to get away from them. Just get as much distance as you can. That's my recommendation. And I'm also really sick of seeing video after video of Black Americans beating up non-Black citizens. I realize it's anecdotal, and it doesn't give me a full picture of what's happening. But every damn day I look on social media and there's some Black person beating the shit out of some white person. I'm kind of over it. I'm over it, right? So I quit.
Oh, he quit. He quits what? I'm not messing with him today. All right, now.
You notice what he said, right? This is what I was trying to get at.
A whole lot. Which part you talking about?
So that's going back to the word all and people, right? Notice that when he speaks, he's speaking on people. But then when he referred just a minute ago, he's talking about one. He's talking about certain people, one person, things of that nature. Like, just pay attention to what this man is saying of how he's utilizing free speech, but using it in a way to get, people riled up, and then seeing the dangers of this as we move forward.
All right, the dangers of free speech. That's what I just
Not the
heard.
dangers of free speech, it's just the dangers of how he's utilizing his words to implement controversy.
Okay, definitely. All right. Now, Rant. We spoke on Rant. Today I'm looking at the etymon of things. If you want to know the definition of a word, go ahead with your time and manage that. Rant, to be jovial, boisterous, talk bombastically, talk foolishly. Okay, that's enough for me. Foolishly, rant. I don't know if a free speech be an etymon. Let's see. Or we just gotta do free and then speech.
Yeah, free and then speech.
So let's roll with speech because they don't want you to know what free look like. I guess that's personal. So they ain't dealing with personal things. Speech, act of speaking, power of speaking, manner of speaking, because there's a difference between power and manner, of course. Statement, discourse, narrative, formal utterance, language. Power and manner. Power, ability to do, to act or do. Strength, control, mastery. Mastery. I'm gonna stop right there. And what's my other word? Shoot. Manner. Kind, sort, variety. Fashion. Belonging to the hand. So in the world where I'm talking about accountability, customary practice. Belonging to the hand. You utter it, it belongs to you. That's where I'm going with this today. And then with power, power of speaking. And then, because the other day I was talking to someone and ability to act, strength. It's an ability. So from my form words of ability, I was talking to someone the other day and they was like, I said, you don't know how to talk. It was like, I do know how to talk. I'm talking now. I said, no, there's more to talking than just opening your mouth and words coming out. It is a state or a condition of being able, capacity to do or act. Some people are not in the capacity to do or act on language and speaking. So to even be able to address somebody who don't even know how to talk is like a waste of time. It ain't even like it's a waste of time unless you're going to be working, and it'll be a job, on assisting this person with knowing how to talk, being able to talk. I just don't see the point in even addressing it at times. What I would, and then going back to the all versus people, I would say in my current status of go die by yourself, we cannot be concerned about all when we don't even have individually ourselves together. Now, this guy speaking on terms and words and how we are responsible for what we are doing. So, Black people, what did he say? Beating up non-Black people, some shit like that. For one, to even open an ear to what he's saying, you would have to identify as Black. I don't identify as Black. I don't identify as American. So to combine the two, that definitely would be an issue. Again, I'm only here because it's a concern for one of my audience members. So this guy's not talking to me. He ain't talking about me. Really, he's still at the same time. All I hear so far is he's talking about himself. From a world of go die by yourself, he's talking about himself. Because until you first address your own concerns, what you got to say about everybody else don't even matter. So from my point of view, I'm looking at this guy has concerns of accountability. He's throwing around names like Don Lemon. Oh, Don Lemon feel this way, so what you feel? Who the fuck is Don? What Don Lemon got to do with the fuck coming out your mouth, though, dude? You're lacking accountability. So far for this guy, Scott Adams, I'm like, message. I appreciate M-Town Vet for putting it out there. Okay, the humans, I ain't human either. I ain't human either. And accountability. Lacking accountability means, so is there not a place where the Black Americans he's speaking of are not getting beat up by the people that look like him? What did he say? He's talking about white. Did he ever say the word white?
No, he was saying it in reverse. He said he was tired of seeing.
You're white, so he did say white people. Go ahead, I'm listening.
No, he was saying like he said so far. He was like, yeah, I'm tired of seeing white people getting beat up by Black people on social media. It's not any reverse or nothing. Then he gonna talk about if the part of the education part. That's when I was just like, oh yeah, he's playing with words for real.
Yeah.
He's basically referring that in a way Blacks are not educated.
Yeah.
That's what I'm just like, and then like I said, going through the some other interviews, it's like I see what you're getting at. I do. I see exactly what you're doing, dude. I know exactly what you're doing.
And then the term, there is excuse me, y'all. There is the how he's using the terms, beat up on. Sometimes we look at it's the wording for me. Beat up on. Sometimes we think of when Black people are beat up on by white people, it looks like this. When the Black Americans beating up on non-Americans, he's talking about would look like this. And when it comes to social media, right now, what he could be talking about is the verbal beat up. Black Americans are keyboard warriors. They are verbally beating up on white people and non-Americans about issues and topics. And the strength of a conversation is so strong. Yeah, you see how he got his head hanging low? He probably do feel some kind of way like, oh, we can't even win in a conversation war. We can't even be a keyboard warrior like Black Americans. Dude, get your skill and your strength together. You got all this script. He's been writing for years in a comic book. So he can't teach a class or no, because your energy is your enemy. That's my spill for right now. I'm about to move on. Ramatef, you have something to say?
Keep going.
Okay. Now, also, Scott Adams made such a comment. I'm paraphrasing, looking at my notes as he was talking, because again, my first time seeing this video was right now during this broadcast. He said, if you don't want to focus on education,
stay away from Black Americans. Now, yeah, he in his feelings. Now, Black Americans, I was never one, so I don't know what
how they focus on education. But from the overall view of some things, PTO meetings, ain't no Black Americans at the meetings, like the white Americans and or the non-Americans. When it comes to, we looking at statistics like reading, and I'm all on a tour for like the third year of collecting books and taking them to Washington, D.C. because the literacy rate there is low amongst people that look like me. Come on now.
And then we start just noticing the key points, people, when he's referring to people in general. He'll add an S at the name of a color. He'll also add the term people to the name of a color. And he will use the word person to the name of a color. That's what I'm saying. All versus people. Every term that he's using is referring to a certain group of people, but labeling them as all, regardless of how you see it.
Right. So, also in education. And then we're looking at stereotypes, of course, today. We're looking at how the media shapes people's reality, of course, today. And so when it comes to also education, and I just had a presentation not too long ago about food in the education system and the brown bag lunches, and how the school wants the focus to be, oh, just eat here at school. We have nutritious food here at school. And again, most of the people that they're addressing are on food stamps. And in these neighborhoods, we already know who the recipients of these food stamps are. So Black Americans are doing what in terms of education, besides most of them, honestly, according to stereotypes in the media, sending their children to school as a babysitter is needed because they don't want to take care of their own children. Because if they did, and they heard about or knew about something like homeschooling, they would take care of their children themselves, which I definitely, of course, suggest and I recommend. Hence, the Unschool Guide, which I am a distributor of. The answers are out here, just like platforms like mine don't get heard. Platforms like mine are not a big audience. Actually, those who scribe the Unschool Guide with me, we not big faces out there. We not celebrities out there. But we're not the only ones who have the homeschool message. And then Black Americans are too busy being distracted. There's a media agenda being pushed, and Black Americans, on average, stereotyped, are being distracted by fun things like shopping. And I don't shop no Michael Kors, but I know Michael Kors when I hear that name. I didn't know Scott Adams by name. I knew him by this character, comic character Dilbert that he created. It's just so again, people, this back and people versus all, people going back and forth about what somebody got to say and what somebody's views are. This man, in a world where some of us is like, he ain't paid my bills, my rent's due, he ain't helping me with that payment, my cell phone due, my light's about to get disconnected tomorrow. Or in a business world, and there's other artists out there, okay, he's not helping me identify the tools I need to be the artist of the level I want to be. This guy, Scott Adams, he's not over here sitting at the table with me when I'm deciding background colors for the distribution of my art. He's not even helping me reach a target audience so my art can be presented publicly and recognized. But his art form is recognized, and people's even listening to these words coming, if you even call them words, because first of all, they're English terms. What benefit is he to anyone who cares about their life? Anybody who's ever went and died by themselves, go die by yourself. If you ever went and died by yourself, you're not concerned about what he's talking about. Seriously, if you think about it. So what? Seriously. These so-called terms, English words he is using, that's what the English is for. It's a spell. It's a distraction. The English don't make no sense. Ramutef and I was just on a broadcast, was it 2 nights ago? Talking about time and the term seconds. We coming back tonight. We gonna continue that conversation. Just in time, your time is valuable. People say time is money. But at the same time, these English terms we use are devaluing your time, which is devaluing your money. Energy devalued. What this guy talking about overall, y'all, it don't matter. And a lot of enough times we know that when people speak, it's a reflection. Hate group. Reflection. He's reflecting. Something's wrong with this guy inside. He's toxic. Toxic. So he needs to go on a die by yourself journey. Go die by yourself. And then he's like,
pretty much on the interviews, that's what's going on for real.
Say that again for me.
I said pretty much that's what's going on currently with his particular industry. In a sense, it's like, even though it has some bad things to it, but at the same time, it gave him a lot of credit in a lot of different areas.
My bad, I thought my mic was unmuted. So he also spoke on the benefits of living in low Black populated areas. So low Black populated areas, when I did or would tune into the news, I heard stories about kids killing their parents, bombs being created, meth labs. There's a lot of money laundering. There's a lot of tax evasion. But that tax evasion and them people getting locked up ain't on the news. When you see and hear about people with getting locked up for tax purposes, from where I'm from, you see people like Red Fox on there, Wesley Snipes on there, et cetera, et cetera. There is no benefit, depending on the audience, of living in a low Black populated area. Most of the benefit, and I'm not giving up the bag right now for those who don't know, mostly benefit is living in a highly Black populated area.
That part.
I'm just saying. That's all I'm going to say. Don Lemon, I don't care. I'm not even addressing that no further today. Quality of living, Scott Adams also mentioned. Quality of living. Quality, what did you say? Quality of living on. Anyway, I'm not looking at that. He also spoke on not helping Black citizens anymore. I'm one day might look up what benefit or help assistance he's provided to Black citizens. So they're black citizens, not black Americans. The all versus people, which Ramotep Queb spoke on, like there's a difference between a black citizen and a black American. Y'all can go look on your own time about that one too. He no longer has a rational impulse. Rational, to say rational implies irrational. He's reflecting. All his life, he's worked to help Black Americans. Okay, sir. Okay. That's all my notes from his rant that I care to discuss today. Ramotep Queb, you have anything you like to share?
So like, yeah. So when you start to, if you want to take the time to look at certain interviews like this one specifically, this is him trying to clean up his mess, but not entirely cleaning up his mess. At the same time, he's trying to let people know, like, oh, this is my audience. My audience knows what I'm talking about. If you're referring to your audience, right? Your audience are basically in that same mind frame as you when it comes to this teaching thing or these words that you're playing, manipulating certain events to get people riled up or to get people to think on, well, shoot, my neighbor, oh, they're black. Oh, my neighbors is white. But then what he's referring to also is that he's also implying that blacks are attacking non-white, other type of people, using certain words like he was explaining. He in that one interview he's going to say, I didn't use the term all. I just said black people and white people. Playing with words. Again, it's that S, like in his own by himself, he used S for the color. He used people behind the color. And then recently he stated person behind the color. So rather a person wants to really look at the words and want to use them and say, oh, I didn't mean it in all people, but then you use the word community. So if you're referring to, a type of people, and you understand that half of the population, in a sense, when it used to the identification of the word black or black people, is using it very well to the sense of, hey, even though I'm just saying what I've seen on social media, but I'm referring to everyone. Whether people see that or not. That's just my spill on that, for real, because it's just like, for me, like I said, just when I was sitting there listening and I looked and I was just like, man, this dude he has something that he's trying to get done. He got it, mission accomplished. Good job. Got people to talk about it. Then on top of that, it's unfortunate that, from the type of people that may subscribe to the violence of his words, because that's basically what the agenda was, to attack him with. It's like, oh, do you not understand that your words are going to start an cultural debate, or this whole bringing up, what's that word, what's that thing called, Jim Crow type of bullshit. And that understanding that, with us being programmed when it comes to, when they talking about beatings and things of that nature, as we shared earlier, that type of program is like, yeah, it's in us. It's DNA embedded in us when it comes to these particular things. But it's not just in the DNA, it's just basically mental programming. And how what he's doing, in a sense, is in that same demeanor. And then unfortunately, yeah, it kind of backfired. But at the same time, I feel like he did this on purpose. And then he also stated, yes, I did this deliberately. Literally, I did this on purpose. He himself said, I did this on purpose. Just to see what the people will say. And it got turned into a whole shit show, to be honest. Something to distract us from another plan that certain individuals on this planet are devising or hiding or trying to keep locked down. Because I'm telling y'all, in about a week and a half, it's a lot of stuff is going to be revealed in a lot of different ways. It's about to get bad. It's going to get shitty. And things like this don't even matter, because the thing that's about to happen, or like, you know, the signs of this particular thing is that they coming, not they, but the system that's about to crash is coming for your income. And as you can see, this dude's income basically got, you know, taken down, part of his income. And then as you read the comments and things of that nature, and people saying that this is not cool when it comes to, you know, identification or identifying. And then on top of that, in my mind, it's like when I hear that term blacks and whites, right? That's like some old school ass movie from those slavery days. Like when I hear those terms, that's all I can think of. It's like that's the terms that they be using, you know, identifying them as blacks. Well, the blacks, well, the whites. And we understand that, you know, when you look into the word white people, then there was no such thing as a race of white people until they called themselves that. There's no race called black people until the race that identified as the white called them black people, or Negroes, or things of that nature, as it starts to evolve. And then you got Jesse Jackson calling us as African American. Go ahead with all this.
I have nothing more to say today. Not on this topic. I have 2 other broadcasts today, so I have nothing more to share on this topic.
For real, for real.
I put my energy somewhere else today.
Mm-hmm. Well,
What?
on that note,
No.
thank you for joining us, everyone. Anoop Ramatef Kwab. I'm Ramatef Kwab. You can find me on Facebook as Ramatef. You can find me on Instagram as Ramatef_Kwab. Thank you for sitting down with us and just seeing what this is all about. We greatly appreciate you, and I'll pass it on to you.
What? I have no more to say. Let me grab these comments right quick. It's not okay to be white. Okay, time up. Time up. My information's in the ticker. That's on y'all. Contact me or not. I'm out.